Welcome to ADHD, a channel dedicated to autism, ADHD and dissociative identity disorder. I just wanted to jump on and talk a little bit about Christmas and some of the triggers and things associated around Christmas. If you are at the beginning of your recovery journey, I think the most important thing to know is that now you are an adult, Christmas is optional. And I remember when someone told me that, I was like, wait, what? I don't have to do this craziness? Really? And it really helped because it reminded me that I have autonomy as an adult that I didn't have as a child. And that even though my family might have expectations of me, I actually do get to choose and I do get to say no. So you can say no to the things that you don't want to do. You can opt out of some of it or all of it. You can even make up your own traditions or just do absolutely nothing. And for me, I work really hard on making Christmas a restorative experience for my parts and asking them what they wanted about Christmas. So for us, we like to make vegan sausage stuffing because they would make sausage stuffing with my dad when we were kids, but we're vegan now. So when my body was a child age, we used to make sausage stuffing with dad, and that was the best part of Christmas, was watching him see how much sausage stuffing he could fit in one sandwich. That was hilarious. And that was the bit of Christmas that we were fond of. But all of the other stuff around Christmas, especially when my dad wasn't there anymore, was just so triggering, we didn't want to do it. So Christmas is optional and you can create your own traditions. So ours is, how much stuff can we stick in a stocking? How many sweets can the littles fit in one stocking is pretty much our tradition now. And they get a kick out of that every single year. And for me, it's how long can I get them to go before Christmas dinner without eating all of the sweets. That one I don't enjoy so much, but they get a kick out of that. So that's our Christmas now. Is pretty chill. We don't have Christmas decorations. I find a lot of the symbolism in the decorations really triggering. And so also with the autism and the sensory overload, it's too much for me to have Christmas trees and Christmas lights, and so we don't do it. And home is a sensory sanctuary when the world outside is full of Christmas songs, crazy rushing people. It's a sanctuary and it's calm. And today when I went shopping in the supermarket for my regular shop, I had a support person with me and it was still so overwhelming, and I was so relieved to come home to my sanctuary. So I would really encourage you to think about what you need to cope with this period and allow yourself to have that. And I know that can be really difficult, and I understand if that feels like too much. But even if you can just allow a little bit of comfort, I would really encourage you to do that. And then the next thing that I wanted to talk about, for those of you who've maybe coped with saying no, allowing yourself some comfort at Christmas, and have maybe managed some of your triggers around Christmas, to maybe think about the fact that Christmas is a time of celebration, and being celebrated after trauma is a really, really difficult thing. It has become clear to me in the later years of my recovery that celebrations are important for the formation of identity, because it helps us understand the things about us of value that other people recognise in us and that we will be celebrated for. And those form core pillars of how we see ourselves in relation to other people, how useful we are in society, in our family structure, where we fit, where we belong. And if we don't have those, our life is kind of like a map that has no landmarks. And so that's why we have no real core sense of self, because we've never really been able to work out what are the good things about us. And we're constantly told all the rubbish stuff and the horrible things that we are, but no one's actually said, maybe you're really clever, or you're really artistic, or you're really compassionate. I've not met one trauma survivor yet with DID who isn't really, really empathetic and compassionate. And so I would, or also creative, so I would hazard a guess that you have some of those traits in you that you can maybe celebrate and foster in you and your parts. And if you find it hard to tolerate celebrating that in yourself, maybe celebrating your littles, and let them be seen and let them be heard at this Christmas time. But as always, any of that is optional. If you're not ready for it, you don't have to do it. But I wanted to include it just in case someone out there found it really helpful. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the new year.